Second portion of Wings Weekly continues on, and as usual, folks, it is a player joining me. This time it is Patrick O'Connell of Westchester, Pennsylvania. OC, thanks so much for taking some time to talk with us here. I know this isn't always the most fun for some people, and I know but you know what to expect. You did this last year and so on, but again, thanks for taking some time here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
First things first, a Pennsylvania guy, Phillies headed to the World Series. You've been following that, I imagine?
Yeah, I've been following it quite a bit. Go to games during the summer. It's pretty fun with my friends. So, yeah, I've been watching it.
Pretty excited to see them clinch and make their appearance here starting on Friday?
Yeah, hopefully they can win. It's been a while since they've won anything, 2008 or whatever. So hopefully they can pull it out.
So I got to ask you now, do you have a prediction? Phillies in 4? How's it?
I don't know. I did see the Astros swept the Yankees. I don't know. Phillies in 6 games, I guess.
There you go.
Hopefully.
Okay. All right, folks. We'll now start talking about hockey, Kay. Well, I know we went through this last year, and you know it's the first steps with everybody is to ask how you got started in hockey. But in the event that somebody didn't see last year's or whatever, maybe they're new to the Wings or new to town and just started coming to games or whatever. Tell us a little bit about how you got started playing the game.
It's pretty much my dad. He played when he was growing up, and I don't know, he just, I guess, took me to the rink one day and we tried out skating, and I ended up just liking it more than all the other sports I tried. I mean, I also played baseball growing up and ended up stopping that because I just loved hockey more and just continued with that. It took up more time also than baseball with all the travel and stuff. And I don't know, there's not really anything not to like, for me at least, about it. So.
Well, that actually kind of makes a little transition question here. In USA Hockey, they talk a lot about multi-sport athletes and how that it's good to take some time away from one sport and go to play another sport, and that you can learn skills, hand-eye coordination, whatever, from playing baseball that can carry on back over to hockey when the time is right. But these days, there's so much travel and stuff involved. There's summer hockey, there's 4-on-4 hockey, there's the travel teams that are all around. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that playing baseball or other sports, or maybe other guys in the locker room that have played lacrosse or whatever else, do you think that helps you overall become a better hockey player? Or are you better off, to stick with one sport and kind of really try to hone your skills?
I definitely think playing like stuff on the side, like at least growing up, I feel like most of us did.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to move away from it. But like in the summers, like you still have time. So like a lot of us golf. So
sure.
Stuff like that, I guess.
It's one of those chicken or the egg kind of questions, but it's interesting because there are some people that are firm believers that people should take months off of hockey and go play another sport. But I'm like, I just don't see how that's really even possible anymore, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
Second year guy, like we talked about, it has to be different coming back to this locker room, to this community, than it was your first time coming into town and kind of going, what the heck? What were some of the first differences that stood out to you? Did it feel kind of like coming home, so to speak, or was it the level of familiarity obviously would help things feel a little more comfortable, I would think.
Yeah, it was kind of just jumping right into things rather than figuring your way out as a first time here. So it's kind of just easy to just obviously everything's way complicated at the beginning of the year and hectic, but aside from just sorting out the team and stuff like that, I mean, it's pretty easy going for a guy coming back. Just like getting used to the billets, you don't have to do that and stuff like that.
Right.
Around town, signing autographs or whatever it may be with the fans, everyone already knows you. It's already easy to get into and it's fun. So.
What would you say, again, different group of guys, every year, different group of guys. I mean, there may be some vets that return, but overall the chemistry is different. The locker room has changes from year to year. What would you say is one of the major differences between this year's team and last year's team? Not even on the ice necessarily, but just as a group.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it kind of is. I was thinking about it though. I'm like, because it does feel a little different to me. Just even on the road and stuff, there seems like there's a little bit different chemistry.
I don't know. I feel like we still have a lot of chemistry and stuff. I don't know. It's just different. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have like.
And it's still early too.
Yeah, we still have like the European guys, just like we did last year. I don't know. Just like some of the guys are just different, but like I feel like everyone gets along well and everything the same. So. Sure.
Who would you say is the class clown, so to speak, of the locker room? I mean, most people said it was Niels last year. Who would it be this year? I heard some guys in the lobby one day talking about how every team has to have that one guy. And
yeah, it could be a lot of us, honestly. It's probably, I don't know. I would probably just looking around the room. I don't know. I feel like the easiest one is just go with Walshy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
And on the ice, most people wouldn't think that probably from the way he plays. But
yeah.
Okay, leadership. You know, I always talk to the veterans about leadership and whether or not somebody has a letter on their sweater. It's really kind of irrelevant because it feels like to me that every veteran has a role. And some are more quiet than others, some are more vocal, some maybe lighten the mood in the room, whatever it might be, there is a level of leadership. Do you feel that? And what would you say your role is?
Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, for me at least the way like the beginning of the year has gone, I've been most of the time I've been playing with younger guys, so just helping them out with like getting used to just playing junior hockey because it's a lot different. But obviously that stuff changes all the time with the lineup. But I don't know, at least like in terms of everything, I just consider myself to be I guess a quiet leader. I just like to go out and just
by example.
Play my hardest, just show by example and just play hardest. I feel like that's just the best way and easiest way to do it, at least for myself.
Sure.
So.
Well, and then like I said, I mean, obviously that's a very effective way to lead in many cases. Where when people see someone, putting the extra work in and stuff, they feel like, well, okay, well that's how you get it done. Coach and I were just talking a little bit about being in a bus league where there is travel and stuff, and you have a game and that you got to get ready for in a in a hurry on a Friday. What do you as a veteran? What do you do to try to get rid of the quote unquote bust legs or those those kinds of things physically, but then mentally, like Coach said, he thinks as part of it is mental, where you got to get zoned in and honed in a hurry. Is there a trick?
On the road, usually, at least like before the game and stuff, like at the rink, I don't know. I usually just like to stay loose and just like make jokes, but like obviously because you have warm-ups and everything, so you have time to like get ready, but like I don't know, I don't like to be like too focused and I like to stay loose and then get rid of the bus legs, I guess. Just depends if we, at least for me, if we skate in the morning or not before we go up. I feel like that's helps me at least if we skate. But if we don't, then you just gotta have a good warm up, I guess, and just get moving. There's not really anything to it for me, at least. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
it's something. Well, and Coach and I were just talking about that, how it is difficult. Something that players have to learn to deal with.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to battle back, like we did on Friday.
Yeah.
After tough first period, just got to bounce back, I guess.
But that's again something last week Coach and I talked about is that tenacity and that determination that to battle through those the maybe a rocky start, whatever it might be, and this team seems to be able to do it here fairly, which is, and like Coach and I talked about before, in the long run that's going to pay big dividends.
Yeah.
All right. Last year an injury obviously kept you from some games, but you ended up playing 43 games. 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Right now, 14 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points.
Yeah.
You're on pace to shatter where you were last year. As far as that goes. What's the difference? Do you feel like your game has stepped up a little bit in some form or another, or is it maybe just a combination of the lines mates, or how does that work?
So far, it's hard to say about like lines because it's been changing a bunch since it's the beginning of the year, trying to figure out chemistry and stuff like that, who plays well with who. But I'd say just like this past weekend especially, just use that as a building block to keep building confidence for myself to just get even better than what I've been putting out already. So.
Well, you've been, like I was saying, I mean, racking up points with assists and so on. You know, a gorgeous pass from the corner to find Schmuck there on Saturday night. Did you see that building as you're going, you know, down the ice, or was it kind of like get into the corner and turn and go, oh, you know, there you, or were you thinking it the whole way?
Well, Schmuck chipped it up, and I knew we would have had some sort of 2-on-1 as long as I just won the race. And the defenseman kind of just stayed passive, and Schmuck was there, so, and he finished it off. So it's
Pass
simple. Yeah.
On the tape and in the back of the net. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about your family. I know I've had a chance to talk with your mom a couple of times. Very nice woman. Tell me a little bit about what home life is like. You know, do you have any brothers and sisters, for example?
2 older sisters. One lives in Florida now and works down there. And then my other sister, who's the middle child, I'm the youngest. She lives at home. She doesn't live at home, but she lives like in the town.
Sure.
In Westchester, and works and I believe does like part-time school too. Then it's kind of complicated, at least for me, because the whole billet thing. But my parents billet for my team at home that I played for midgets.
I knew that. That was kind of why I wanted to ask you how that's like.
Yeah, so I mean, I could go into pretty detail about that, but just keep it simple. Now they have 2 kids right now that play for my midget team. They play for that team. And then during the summers, since my one buddy who lived with me for 3 years and played midgets with me at my house, and we went to school together, so he comes back during the summers. Like we're kind of his American home because he's from Czech Republic. Okay. So he comes back home, and there's always someone there, pretty much. So,
well, do you think it gives you a little bit of an advantage that that you are familiar with the whole billet process, or maybe even that it gives your mom a bit of an advantage? Because I think a lot of parents are a little like nervous about sending their kid off to go live with someone else. Like, how does this work? What do we do? Your mom knows the ins and outs of it. Your parents, are used to this, and you are, grew up with that level of familiarity too. I feel like that would make it a little easier to be able to go off to another town.
Yeah, definitely. I think my parents actually helped my billets here, like for the first time building.
Really?
Because they already knew what to do. They've done it for 3 years or whatever we did it for before I ended up coming here.
Sure.
So they actually kind of just gave them like tips and helpers. Funny enough, but.
Yeah. That is, in all the years I've been doing this, I gotta say that's the first time I've ever heard of that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, hobbies, interests. What do you like to do when you're not at the rink working out or practicing or at a game?
I've really gotten into golf past summer. Yeah? So that's kind of my biggest thing now, I'd say.
You a gamer guy? Movie guy? What's your go-to?
Not really movies that much. I mean, every once in a while.
Sure.
I'm more of sports. I like to just watch sports, especially now. Phillies are winning, hockey started, football, everything's going. So there's always something to watch. I'm more of a sports guy myself to watch on TV. And then video games sometimes, just here and there, not too much. Not really.
To the sports fan, you're right. This is the golden time of year when everything's hitting on the right cylinders here. Post-game baseball, hockey's getting going, football's not winding up, but getting wound up.
Yeah.
How about, I got 2 quick questions related to food, okay? So if you had one food that you could eat for a year, for every meal, whether Monday through Friday, well, actually, wait a minute, Friday through Friday, every day, you're having breakfast, lunch, dinner, the exact same thing. What's it going to be?
I guess I just got to keep it simple and say, like, probably just pizza.
And what is on that pizza?
I usually just stick with just, like, simple pepperoni.
Yeah?
Maybe, like, throw something else on with it, like bacon or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Anything, so.
Now then, say, you're familiar with what a death row meal is, right?
Yeah.
Like, say, I'm not saying you're ever going to commit any crimes or anything. I just mean, if you had that meal, that was your last meal, what would that be? Maybe something your mom makes, your grandma makes, or whatever, some favorite food from back home. You can have anything and everything. What's that meal going to look like?
Definitely probably I'd put a steak. Maybe just like our Christmas meal dinner at home. Steaks with, we usually my dad makes these like twice baked potatoes. Mm-hmm. And then whatever else we eat with it is usually, last year I didn't even get to eat it. So
yeah, unless they put it in a blender for you.
Yeah, I didn't get to eat it last year. So
but just think
it's been a while.
How much better it's going to taste this year now since you didn't get it last year.
Yeah.
It's a good point, though. That would suck. Can you imagine how, well, you can imagine. I can't imagine. You're smelling all those smells and everybody's eating and you're just sitting there like,
yeah,
I hate this.
Drinking smoothies and whatever else. We made smoothies, protein shakes.
Dang.
It's not fun.
Was that, and actually that kind of reminds me of a question that I wanted to ask you about the recovery last year. Would you say that's one of the most difficult things that you've had to do in sports? Because you weren't able to practice or anything. I mean, that you physically, even once you get the go-to, or the go-to, but the all clear kind of from the doctors and so on, you got to get your legs back. You got to get your cardio back. All of that did it come fairly easily, or was there a lot of work involved?
Well, I was able to practice. I just couldn't do contact.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously, it was still really hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Not being able to open your mouth out on the ice. But at least I could skate and like stay on the ice and have my legs moving for when I came back. But I mean, cardio usually isn't a problem for me, but I'd be lying if I was saying it wasn't like a little tough coming back, at least in that terms of stuff.
Okay, final question. Austin coming back into the building here this Friday and Saturday here at the ODI Center. Home crowd should be excited to see you guys play again. It's been a couple weeks on the road. What do you think you guys have to do as a team to secure a win? And maybe two.
Yeah, definitely just continuing to play our own game, honestly. We're finally, I think, starting to come into our own as a team. Just keep the offense going, I'd say, for us. Just keep scoring more, because we're getting great goaltending from Cole, obviously, since Gina's been gone. So he's been playing great. And, yeah, just work as hard as we can out there, because we need to get some wins at home for the fans.
Yeah.
So
just kind of not worry about them, worry about you. Just do your thing, and things will be good, huh?
Number one thing is just getting wins at home for the fans. Haven't done that yet, so.
All right. Well, Wings are back home this weekend, as we just talked about, against the Austin Bruins. Friday, doors open at 5:30, and the puck drops at 7:15. It's Rooster Rush night. Help us bust the barn and help the Aberdeen Convention Visitors Bureau. And you must be at the game to win an amazing prize package. Plus, kids under 12 can swing by the Aberdeen CVB on downtown Main Street for a free kids ticket with the purchase of a paid adult ticket. We've got $15 bar stool seats available inside the Automax party deck. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 to claim your seat.